What if I told you something highly controversial? What if I told you that the girl boss is actually not a bad trope, and that girl boss moments are actually really cool, but only if done well? And the sad fact of the matter is, most authors, most writers for shows, movies, books, etc. have no idea how to write a good girl boss. That is, until we have Villainess Level 99 showing us the way. Today, I am going to talk about how we can take one of the most hated tropes and make it into something awesome. Hi there everyone, Lars here with a trope review brought to you by Camille's Harem. Not just a podcast for novice writers by novice writers, but also a YouTube channel by novice writers for novice writers, because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends, and this video comes at the request of our viewers who said that they really wanted a greater breakdown into the girl boss trope. We'd actually tried this out during a live stream that got shut down thanks to me using too much copyrighted material. Yay for me. And I know I'm a little bit late with this, but we are finally getting to it because, yeah, Villainous Level 99 is phenomenal, and it is a great example of how you do a girl boss moment correctly. But first, let's quickly break down what the girl boss trope actually is. First of all, we need to understand this. The idea of the girl boss actually comes from the business sector of the world, not from the entertainment, and it refers to women who are able to own their own businesses or rise up through the managerial ranks and hold their own against the boys. And there are some stereotypical qualities to a girl boss, such as being snappy, hot-headed, brash, but that is not necessarily the personality of a girl boss. Rather, that is instead how they react when people try to force them out of their well-deserved situation. They own that business, or they earned that spot in management, therefore they should not get pushed out. That is the origin of the girl boss. Within entertainment, the idea of the girl boss was incorporated to be like, this again is a woman who has earned her place in society or in a business. Therefore, she shall not be pushed out. And usually then, what we see when a girl boss is utilized correctly within fiction, we get to see her rise to that position, we get to see her earn it, and then we get to see her defend it against the naysayers. And this basically means that the girl boss herself is the culmination, the result of a hero's journey for the female character. And that's a very positive thing. We love it. We love the hero's journey. The problem is that these days, the girl boss is created within stories without fully giving her the hero's journey. She was born a girl boss. She deserves this. We don't actually get to see her earn her position, earn her keep. As a result, we get that moment where she's brash, hot-headed, puts the man in his place, and everyone's like, oh, she's so amazing, we love her, without the proper build-up to that moment. So, if you as an author wish to write an excellent girl boss character, you need to put in the work to show her reaching that position, and you also need to put in the work to show why other people might want to remove her from that position, whether she is a business owner, a manager, the new school principal, the princess, or just the new girl at school who is so amazing and everyone wants to get to know her, at least until the bullies start descending upon her and wish to get rid of her. It doesn't matter the situation, you still need to show the girl boss rising to that level. So let's do a brief bit of comparison before I really dive into Villainous Level 99. We have the abysmal movie, The Marvels, which yes, I did go and see, and so I can report that there are plenty of girl boss moments in that movie, and almost none of them are earned. Even if you have done the homework and you have watched Captain Marvel, you have watched Miss Marvel, you watched WandaVision, and you also then watched Avengers Endgame, sure, you have gotten all of the necessary bits, and sure, there's a little bit more from other shows, but you've gotten all the necessary bits in order to understand what the hey is happening here in this movie. But the problem is this: We get basically nothing of Photon learning how to use her powers. She just suddenly can now use them. No build up there, so we don't see her gaining her status as a superhero. Captain Marvel's character arc was about learning how she was always the best all along, and that she doesn't need anyone else, and everyone else is trying to hinder her. Miss Marvel's the only one who has actually practiced and failed with her powers consistently, that she's the only character in this lineup who truly deserves any girl boss moments. But the problem is that she's written as such an adoring sycophant fan to Captain Marvel that she always defers to her throughout the movie rather than really taking the reins herself and proving to Captain Marvel that she deserves to be in the same ranks as the other superheroes. Yes, I understand that they have that training montage where they come together and work together so well as friends. That's a montage towards the end of the movie that doesn't make any sense with all the other convoluted nonsense and character arcs that they've already crammed into this. It was a forced, shoehorned in moment to try to make the later on girl boss moments actually work, and it all fell apart. Let's then compare this to Villainess Level 99, where we have a girl get isekai'd into an Otome game. And not necessarily a fantasy Otome game that she necessarily likes, it's just one that she played. She played it thoroughly because she's an otaku, and boom, she got isekai'd on into it. Well, unfortunately for her, when she got isekai'd into this game, she wasn't isekai'd into the position of the heroine, but as the secret boss, the secret villainous boss at the very end of the game. She is cursed, as people see it, with long black hair, the sign of the witch, the demon herself. And she is born she's born into this world as the daughter of outer nobility, the nobility out in the sticks. Therefore, she's given no real respect within the capital, and her parents, who are craving connections and relevance and power, basically have left her to go live in the capital. So she has no connection with her family whatsoever. So she's the hidden boss at the end of the game who's meant to be killed. Everyone's going to despise her because of her black hair. She is a noble girl who has no real connections because she was born out in the sticks, and not even her parents were actually willing to give her any sort of love and attention. Everything is working against this girl, and she knows it too. She knows that she can't necessarily break or bend the game as far as she understands it. So if she wants a happy ending, then what she's going to have to do is she's going to have to accumulate power and try to avoid all of the nasty endings, all of the red flags, all the death flags along the way. And so what we get from Yumilia is that we actually get to see her exercising her powers, utilizing them. We get a clear explanation of how she is able to gain levels. She actually puts in the work. She uses strategy. Great for her. She's not just simply given it because she was born as the hidden boss. She earns her level. She earns a level 99. Great for her. She has attained such amazing power, but she is still an outcast in society. She, however, is going to get elevated thanks to her power level to a position of influence and desire within the kingdom. What she's effectively fighting for is not necessarily, though, to preserve that status, but instead to preserve her peace of mind. That is the status point that everyone is trying to shove her out of, either to stuff her back into the villainous box, or to make her feel uncomfortable, or to relegate her to a tool, to a prize to be won. And that is what she's going to have to resist in her girl boss moments. Now, when Yumilia goes to the school, to the Academy for Magic, which is really not such a great academy. It's basically there to teach kids how to fight, to do nothing else. It's a horrible school. But that aside, when she goes to the school, of course, everyone's already against her because of her long black hair. But then also people are against her because they do not believe that she could possibly be level 99. The three heroes of the Otome game then start to tease her. They start bullying her quite ruthlessly and quite untowardly, quite unearned, if we're being all honest. And the three heroes of the game start bullying her because they do not believe that she could ever have so much power, and if she does, she doesn't deserve it. They're going to put her in her place because, by golly, they are the prince and his best friends, and they are the heroes of the kingdom, not her. and so you have, once classes begin, they are really trying to rub her face in the dirt, proverbially speaking, of course. What we get right here is we actually get a good build-up to the girl boss moment, because Yumilia has already come to accept that she's basically the villainess, and she's just trying to live peacefully. So long as she can avoid everyone else's awkward gazes and their manipulations and machinations, she's okay with it. However, when these boys start coming against her directly, she just wants to redirect them. She wants to be like, look, just please don't bother me. So for the first guy in a sword duel, she just tries to end it as quickly as possible and then get out of dodge, because she doesn't need any of this drama, and hopefully he understands, I'm strong, just please don't fight me anymore because I don't want to fight you. He doesn't get the message. Then when it comes to magic, she's honestly not trying to show off, and she knows that she can only use dark magic. She's not a genius like the other guy who can use all the other elements and weave them together so beautifully. She's just told she's got to attack this magical suit of armor. And so she attacks it, she melts and destroys it, and she's like, I've done what I can. Look, I'm not trying to compete with you, really. I'm just doing what I'm supposed to. And then when the prince comes and is like, you are now being expelled from the school because there's no way that anyone could ever be level 99, that's when Yumilia finally breaks down and is like, okay, look, I am just here to play through this game, to have a happy life, to have a peaceful life, and you guys will not leave me alone. So I'm going to prove I am level 99. So will you get off of my back? And summons a black hole, terrifying everyone in the process. And then being smug towards the prince and me all like, now are you convinced? After that, Yumilia doesn't want to follow up with any of this. She's had her girl boss moment. She has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt she's level 99. Please back off. She just wants peace, and she tries to communicate that by removing herself from the situation. Unfortunately for Yumilia, she gets now pulled in by the king and the queen, who wish to assess her powers and bring her in on their plan of fighting the demon lord once he reveals himself, and they want to have her impressive powers for their benefits. This is going to set up the second major girl boss moment of the series, and in a way, actually kind of the last, because the queen warns Yumilia, look, with your power, everyone is going to want to have you in their political faction, and our rivals are going to try to get you married to one of their sons. Now, granted, we would like for you to marry one of our sons, because that would then immediately bind you to the kingdom, but you've told me all you want is peace. So if you want peace, then peace you shall have. We will support you in that so long as you then help us defeat the demon lord, and then everything will be fine. That is the agreement that is made. And so Yumilia's like, I am okay with that, so long as you don't try to marry me off to anyone, I am okay. I will continue to gain power. I will support the prince, the heroine, their buddies, and hopefully everything turns out for the best. Just please don't manipulate me or make me do things that I don't want to do. Well, when Yumilia returns to school, immediately all of the different suitors start coming out of the woodworks, proving the queen's word that the various factions would try to bind her to them through a contract of marriage. And she's been putting up with it for day after day after day, and there's one guy in particular who just keeps on coming back. This is where we get the second girl boss moment from Yumilia, and it's not one where she uses immense power to slap someone down. She just simply uses logic. By taking this pompous idiot who thinks that he can reduce her to a tool, to a status symbol for himself. She will be his wife, and don't you know he's being gracious because she has got black hair? Anyone in her situation should be happy that a guy such as him is giving her so much attention and affection, and that they can rule the kingdom together with her power and with his brains. To which then she's all like, oh, so you wish to overthrow the king and queen? Not really. Oh, but you said it out loud that you wish to rule, which would mean overthrowing the monarchy. And if this ever were to get on out, people would know that you're a traitor, and they would come after you. Guy starts sweating bullets, and she's like, I won't talk about any of this if you leave me alone. And so the annoying noble boy scampers on off, and he is done and gone. And this is actually another great example of a girl boss moment, because again, Emilia just wants peace. Her station, what she wants in life, what she has by her hard work and through her own estimation deserves, is just, I just want to be left alone. I want to be peaceful. I want to go through this game, defeat the demon lord, and then no one comes after me thinking that I am the hidden boss. Even though I was born to be the hidden boss, I'm not trying to be the hidden boss, so please leave me alone. That is what she wants. This guy isn't leaving her alone. He is trying to create a situation which would then mean that the prince and his buddies would have to come and kill her, because she's basically agreed to help this guy overthrow the monarchy, to overthrow the king and the queen. To avoid all of that, she uses simple logic to break down this guy's argument, turn it on its head, and to send him packing. This is another good example of a girl boss moment, because again, she is using her power, she's using her brains in order to set things right, to maintain what she wants, to maintain her status within this world, and put down the guys who are trying to bully her on out of it. And again, this is a moment that was built up to, not just simply with her power and everything, but with her communications with the queen, how we see that she is fairly observant of how the world itself works. And that is great. Now let me address something else really quick right here. One of the modern problems with the whole girl boss trope as it's currently been written is that the girl boss is just made to be too perfect. She's effectively a Mary Sue. That's what most people are thinking of, honestly, when they think of a girl boss. But ultimately, a girl boss is again just a trope of, this is a girl who has worked hard to attain the status and the level that she has in society, whether it be business, with her friends, at the school, in the military, royalty, what have you. She has earned that position. It is not implicitly a Mary Sue. A great character is someone who continues to have flaws, someone who has a character arc that they need to fulfill. And what we see with Emilia is that, yeah, sure, she's got tons of power, she's incredibly OP, and she gets all these amazing items that make her even stronger, but Emilia is not a perfect character. She is horrible at understanding social situations because she's an otaku. The only reason why she understands some characters really well is because of how thoroughly she played the game. Any character outside of the main storyline makes no sense to her, and she creates so many social faux pas that really actually prevent her from enjoying a peaceful, happy life that she wants. Were she to actually get together with Patrick and have that relationship, that romantic relationship right there, that would actually provide all the necessary shielding that she needs in society to get all these people off of her back. And if she knew how to forge a good friendship with the heroine, then she could actually save herself a whole lot of trouble by relying on that healthy relationship to keep the prince and his buddies off of her back and allaying all of their fears. In many ways, Emilia is her own worst enemy. When you're that powerful, what is there to really stop you? One of the things I love about a good OP character is when they are written with flaws. And Emilia is a character with plenty of flaws that hold her back from being the person that she could be and from attaining the true peace and prosperity that she wishes to have in this isekai fantasy world. So to wrap everything on up, if you want to write a good girl boss and a good girl boss moment, you need to remember that ultimately the girl boss is the culmination of a hero's journey. And if you want to have kind of that girl boss moment halfway through the story or earlier on, you need to show that character basically completing a mini hero's journey arc in order to attain that status of the girl boss. And then you need to confront them with that situation where they're not putting down someone to prove a point. They're not putting someone down to prove how awesome they are. Instead, they are resisting against anyone who's trying to remove them from their status. Whether that be like Emilia, I just want to have a peaceful life, or for a boss of a company or a queen who has risen to the throne. Whatever it be, people are trying to remove her from that station, and she needs to fight to keep it. And the girl boss moment is her having that epic moment of slapping down her enemies, being, no, I deserve this, I earned it, you can't take it away from me. And then the story continues on. Now then, I understand that not everyone likes the girl boss trope or the girl boss scenario, and it has been so overused in poor ways that it might be something that you may not want to eagerly seek out within your own stories. But if you do, understanding where it comes from and understanding how to properly utilize it and execute it, I think will actually then lead to some really good moments in your stories should you wish to use the girl boss trope. So there you have it. That's my breakdown of the girl boss trope, how it can properly be utilized, some examples in various stories. I'd like to hear your thoughts on this in particular, especially since there are so many bad examples or so many thoughts, very negative opinions that people have of the girl boss trope. Is it something that should even be used? I want to hear from you in the comments. Otherwise, if you'd like to support what we do here, then please check out our other videos, like, share, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and if you would especially like to help us out, please check out the books that we've written. Links for them are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for joining us on this incredible adventure that we call writing, and until the next video, y'all, tschüss.